And another common ask on this big MX record change, it's kind of a big change in the Microsoft world. Those MX records haven't changed for a dozen years. So far, it looks like there is no impact to your SPF records. Your SPF records can stay on the protection.outlook.com for now. We'll see if Microsoft changes that over time, but right now, the only thing that's changing is the inbound MX record. But there's a lot of value in going through this process to get all these technologies working, because what you're doing is you're making sure that the mail you're sending is validated at 3 or 4 different levels, which can be really valuable for the receiving servers, because they start to really be able to say, man, I know when I run into email from that person, that domain, it's aligned across SPF, DKIM, DMARC, at TLS, MTSDS. I can validate it 3 ways to Sunday. I really trust it. And then anytime anybody tries to spoof you or pretend to be you, that's going to fail even stronger, because the servers do build up a reputation on your email. And so it allows the servers that are paying attention to really know that email from you is incredibly trustworthy. An email that's failing any of those things is not trustworthy and not to trust it. On the flip side, when you change your MX record so that you're using the mx.microsoft, it allows you to receive email with that higher level of security as well. So you can start to see the valid senders with additional data. So those who have done the work to turn on DNSSEC, enable MTSDS and TLS RPT, they have DANE enabled. You'll be able to, your server will be able to see that same data, and we'll be able to validate legitimate mail even better. And it's kind of one of those rising tides raises all ships. If we all start to embrace these more advanced email, authentication methods, it really starts to build out our ability to have more trustworthy, more secure email, which is a critical thing, because we're in a world where email is becoming harder and harder to authenticate. Is this spoofed? Is this phishing? Is this legit? And the more we can make the barrier of entry to verified and legitimate email higher, and the more that becomes the standard, then the harder it is for the threat actors to pretend to be us, to sneak in. They go build a new domain and try to turn all this on, and it starts to be where you just don't trust it. It's like when you get a phone call from a scammer. You answer the phone, the first indicator that it's a scammer is the pause while it goes and finds somebody in the data center to talk. The next issue is there's just an accent issue. Quickly through your own heuristics, your brain's ability to filter when you're getting a scam phone call. We're trying to build that same functionality across email, where legitimate emails are just so clearly legitimate that illegitimate emails that are not going through these same levels of attestation are really clear. And then if you do ever get a sophisticated IT, attack where somebody's really trying to mess with your email in transit, they're trying to mess with your legitimate email, either inbound or outbound. Some of these technologies around MTSDS and DANE and TLS reporting really give you a chance to not only see when that's happening, but to identify it, because that message has been modified. I can see where it's not from the person that says it is. It's not with a valid TLS domain. Somebody built a mail server to pretend to be me, but they aren't aligned with my DNSSEC. DANE doesn't pass. They don't have MTSDS. Maybe it's aligned SPF and DKIM. They found a way through that, but the other 3 or 4 layers, they didn't get aligned. So again, this is super nerdy, super kind of cutting edge technology, but it's also really fun. It's really cool to get into these newer technologies and learn about the new things that are being built.